Kyle Martino, our guest here on the DA Show on CBS Sports Radio. So the acting U.S. soccer president is Sunil Gulati. Do you feel like he does not hire people that are smarter than him? Is he the problem that you're talking about?
Well, Sunil is an incredibly smart man. He's an economist professor at Columbia. It's hard to hire too many smarter people than him, but there's a plethora of people who are smarter than him in the soccer space, and that's been his weak spot. That's his blind spot, not hiring soccer experts or having soccer experts in the U.S. soccer structure. Because believe me, this is not a blow the whole thing up approach. There are many people who are capable, competent, and qualified to make good soccer decisions within the U.S. soccer structure, but they're not given any power. They're not given the authority to do these things. So Sunil has insulated himself a bit in his position to not have to take advice from soccer experts. And that's clear. That's not speculative. That's one of the reasons we're at this low point in U.S. soccer's history. But Sunil deserves credit for a couple things. One, the business model that I just explained. You know, Sunil has helped put that in place on the commercial side, growing revenue, and we need to protect those accomplishments, and we need to respect Sunil for doing that. But that goes back to what you said before. It's much easier now to keep the business side moving and to keep the inertia of that going than it is to fix the soccer side. So we don't really need a businessman now. We need a soccer PhD. But you have to be able to and be willing to work with Sunil. Listen, it's irrelevant whether you like Sunil or not. I spoke, and I was one of the first to criticize Sunil and say it was time to move on from him. No one else was willing to do that because of his political power. I did that from my position because I knew that it was time for change. We had to move on from Sunil. But we don't move on completely from Sunil because his greatest accomplishment is getting a seat on the FIFA Council at the big table. I mean, that's incredible that there's a U.S. soccer voice up at the top of the soccer food chain globally. And he's going to stay there, whether he's president or not. He's going to stay on the World Cup bid for 2026, whether we like it or not. So whoever becomes president, I'm seeing some candidates just criticizing him and throwing him under the bus. Yeah, he deserves to get criticism in certain areas. But you have to have a symbiotic relationship with Sunil Gulati right now, because missing out on the World Cup was bad for the men. But missing the World Cup in 2026, not being able to win that bid and bring that enormous, amazing, greatest event on earth tournament back to the States, if we miss that, that's catastrophic. So I see people with the lack of political nous to understand you need a strategic relationship with Sunil, whether you like him or not. And listen, I've made no secret of the fact that I don't get along with Sunil. I'm not his shill. But as far as business is concerned and the business of U.S. soccer, I respect Sunil, and I'll work with him to get us that World Cup, and I'll work with him to fix this program. But I want him to leave me alone and run U.S. soccer, and I'm going to leave him alone to go on the FIFA Council and help get this country what they need in terms of soccer.